Hello, everyone. We are finally live, and today is Thursday. And thank you for joining us. And if you are joining us, please down below in the comments, hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And do tell us where you're coming from. As you know, I'm coming from Mexico, and my guest is coming from the city where I was born in Quebec, Canada. Also, do me a favor if you are wanting to interact with us above the video, or maybe it is below, there's a strip that says StreamYard. Click on that, and that will allow StreamYard to use your name so that we know who is interacting with us. Otherwise, you'll come across as, if you don't do that, you'll come across as Facebook user, and we won't know with whom we're speaking. Okay, so as you know, my guest today and I met online, and I'll repeat it again and over again that we meet the nicest people online. 5 years ago, I never thought that was true, but my thoughts have changed about that. I have met great people online. I have met these people in person also, and so the other thing that I want to talk about is that we have the same mentors. Maya Kumarota is one, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, just to mention a few. We're also both entrepreneurs, we're linguists. Now, I speak three languages, but my guest speaks four languages. We both love to travel, and so without any further ado, please meet my guest, Lucie Hautreux. Hi, Lucie, how are you?
Hi, Lucie. Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I forgot to mention that we both have the same first name. And not only that,
And IE because it's
and
a
I
French
know,
way.
and it's spelled the French way. And people in Mexico always want to say Lucie A. They want to say Lucie A, but it's Lucie, and so is yours. I remember, Lucie, when we were both in one of Maya's program, Maya Comerote's program, I remember that all of a sudden there were two Lucies. And I'm going, oh my God, I have competition here. And it was very odd because when Maya would say Lucy, I never knew whom she was speaking to. So I would have to say, which one? The one who I remember you saying you made a statement once that never wanted to wear pants again. You wanted to start wearing dresses or something. Can we go back and talk a little bit about that? I've always wanted to ask you about that. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I remember this. What did I mean by that is so it's going back to actually my own story and how I grew up and stuff. And as a woman, I never really felt secure and safe when I grew up in France. Uh, it's nothing really happened to me, but wearing a pants, it was in a way that having less attraction to me and less look on me, because it felt really intrusive. And I started actually to wear dresses when I lived in Vietnam because anyway, there it was like 10 years ago now. I was already too high, too tall compared to
All right.
Vietnamese people, and it was just yeah, it was just when I started to embrace more my feminine side, I would say. Not that I was not before, but I was so used to wear pants just to be more comfortable, to have less attraction from men in some ways, so that I started again to embrace these dresses flow and right now I'm wearing a jeans, so I won't lie, but I've been mostly actually wearing dresses, especially when I'm in more summertime and warm weather
Mhm.
lately, because I feel much more freedom and empowerment as a woman as well. And now I feel comfortable to also, you know, being less scared of men in some ways.
Oh, that's very funny. And, for me, it was the opposite. I remember, growing up as a girl, you just had to wear dresses. I mean, I don't think I wore pants till I was in my 20s, if I do believe. And then once I did, it was like, oh my God, this is freedom. It's like, I don't want to, I don't have to worry about pleasing people and blah, 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 blah. So we've had similar experiences, a little different in a way, but it was all part of the culture, wasn't it? I mean, you, for you, it was France. For me, it was Quebec. But
Yeah, the culture, and I guess also the time when we grew up,
we grew
and
up. Hmm.
wearing jeans for me when we grew up was just naturally like easy, it's handy and comfortable. So
And for me, it was the opposite. I was not allowed to wear jeans because it was too not girlish enough. But anyway, all that is gone, and we are who we are today. But we are who we are today because of all that we went through. You know. So tell me, where are you located in Quebec City right now? Are you in Quebec City itself?
yes, I am in Quebec City itself. I'm very bad with name. Limoux, uh,
Limoilou?
Limoilou, exactly.
Ah, yeah,
Yes.
you're in Limoilou.
Yeah, near the river,
Uh huh.
and it's very nice. It's very, very, very nice.
Oh, very good. I mean, all those words come back to me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, those, it just brings back such great memories for me. So, what brought you to Quebec City? I know that you call yourself the international Frenchie. Is it because you travel so much?
I love international. I love being abroad. I've been living abroad for almost. I think I spent over 12 years of my life abroad. I live in Mexico. I live in UK, Vietnam, Indonesia, Australia, and now the last 9 months I've been a nomad, a digital nomad, and I'm currently in Quebec because I had the willingness to, as I'm a digital nomad, I can be working from anywhere I want, right?
Right.
And my sister lives here in Quebec City, so I had the willingness to be closer to her, to spend some quality time with her, and it's almost summer here, so why not being in
Absolutely.
Quebec when it's not minus 40 degrees?
Oh, I know, I know, I know, I know. So I just want to say Magda's with us. Hello, ladies. Hello, Magda. Nice to see you. Thank you for supporting. And then we have someone from the Damu charity just always loves to be here. Hi, Lucie and Lucie Hautreux. And they spelled your name properly. And then Magda, never know where Lucie Hautreux is in the world. And that's the way I feel, Magda. You're absolutely right.
You're not alone.
Yeah, she's not alone. So you like the nomadic life, do you?
I do love it. I started to be nomadic for a real purpose. Basically, if I go back 1 year ago, I was in Australia. I left my corporate job. I was willing to relaunch my business, and I was struggling. I
Yes.
was financially having pressure. My relationship was not working anymore. Like a lot of gray moments of my life, and I had the choice. We always have the choice.
Yes.
Either I stop having financial pressure by going back on a job,
Mhm.
temporary, but going back on a job, and then having less time for my dream, for my business, or I found another way. And I took the other road, which led me at the beginning to leave my apartment. It was the biggest cost I had at the time. So I left my apartment. I started to do house sitting in Melbourne for 2 months. So
Ah,
I started to breathe again financially because I didn't have to pay the bill. And after 2 months, I was like, okay, what do I do now? It doesn't really make sense to stay in Australia right now. I was still like dead inside. I was feeling like I don't experience joy. I don't, and I really want this business picking up. And I had a retreat plan in Bali, so I knew I was going to Bali for months. And I was like, maybe I just go for a longer trip, and I will see when I come back. So I put all my stuff in a storage room, and I left with one suitcase, and I started a journey. So I went to Bali. I host this retreat has been an amazing shift in my identity for me to see
Hmm.
the power I have as a coach and to be able to transform lives. So it's
Right.
been really magical. And then I had a conference in LA, so I flew to LA and I met amazing people. Then I was like, I'm so close to Mexico. It's been 14 years I didn't go to Mexico, so I went back to Mexico. I I felt like I went back to home places. Like Bali is home for me. I lived there for 5 years. Mexico, I lived there for a year. It it felt like home,
Right.
and then I went to Arizona to meet Dean, and I speak on stage over there for the entrepreneurs. I did a class for them, and then I went back to France for Christmas, and then I was supposed to be back in Australia by January, and we had the retreat with Maya. I went there, and then I went back to Mexico, and like life has just been surprisingly opening doors that I never expected.
Right.
And going back to the nomadic lifestyle right now, it has a purpose, has a reason. For me, is that to give me the space to really build my business
Right.
without burning out, and allowing me time to as well being present for my family, being closer to my sister and all of that. So I'm very intentional. I'm going slower in my business development, but I am living a dream right now where I sleep well, my health is good, I am where I am close to my family, and life is good actually. So of course for me it's not the way I see my life forever to be
Right.
on the road and just with a suitcase has some inconvenience.
Right.
but is it's what I need right now, and it's coming to an end. Like I'm at the end of my trip. It's probably the next few months, and that's it. But it's an amazing way to embrace freedom, and when you have the freedom of your location, it's next level of freedom, because I had financial freedom before. I had my time freedom as an entrepreneur, but location freedom, it's yeah, next level.
Interesting. Money freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. I like that. I like that a lot. I want to ask you, you mentioned you were on stage with Dean Graciosi. When did that happen? Was this
So
with the
it
summer?
was in it was a legacy mastermind in November. So
Okay.
they asked me to speak and to do a class about numbers for entrepreneurs. So I did a class in person, and it was just for the legacy people. So it was like 40 people more or less.
But how nice that you have that
Yeah.
sort of on your resume. I mean,
Yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. And for those who are scared of public speaking, like a year ago, I was not a public speaker.
so
And
now you can promote yourself as a speaker. I mean, you were on Dean Graciosi's stage, so that's a biggie for sure. So what happened
yeah,
to the Legacy Mastermind? Because that's a year's program, is it not?
yes, yes, yes. I just finished my part on that. So
Okay, you just finished your part. So tell me, living abroad in so many different countries for the past, what, 10 years or so, being exposed to these diverse cultures and perspectives. Tell me, how does this international experience influence your approach to supporting individuals in their transformation journey?
so when you are living abroad, uh, you learn resilience,
Resilience,
you learn how to adapt,
right?
you learn how to live with uncertainty. So just to give you an example, that your stay is, until you are a citizen of the country, your stay is limited in time. or is linked to your work.
Hmm.
So you always have kind of this stress, this uncertainty, but you still have to build your life and live your life. So you never know until when. And I remember when I was in Indonesia, at the beginning, I had a 6 month visa, and then it became a year visa. Then you always need to renew and renew, and you always have this pressure of where you don't know if you can renew. Maybe they will say no this time, and this pressure of um your stay is not depending on yourself somehow. It's a lot of pressure,
Right.
and I see it a lot with international people working in companies that sometimes they accept not being so happy at work or not being so fulfilled, because if they stop working for that company, they may have to leave. And maybe they have a partner, and maybe they have, kind of settled in the country, and they don't want to go back to France or to their home place. So it's really to navigate changes. And my message, if some of them are in this situation now and listening, there are always possibilities to find a way to stay, to find another work, to find what you love by staying international, by living abroad. But it's for sure it's scary. It's because you
Wow.
sometimes you don't believe, and I want to show to people that they can, and I've been able to do it, so I don't see how others
Lucy,
can.
I just want to show you what you're influencing here. From the Damu charity, it says, we are here streaming live with kids. We're watching from Uganda, Jinja district. Both of you, we're welcoming you to visit us. That's very sweet. There we go. But you better be careful. She'll take you up on it. Real your program inspiration with youth, especially girls. You make a great impact on women, and not just women but young girls, giving them the thought that they don't have to stay where they are. They can bloom and bloom anywhere that they go. So thanks so much for giving them hope. May Lord reward and protect you. We love you both so much. Thank you very much. They have been following a lot of my interviews, because I tend to interview women who are just have wonderful stories just like yours, and are doing unusual things. You're ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and you're definitely one of them. you
Thank
know
you.
I hear you say uncertainty is certain.
Yes.
Because I've heard you say that a couple of times. So can you expand a little bit on that? What do you really mean by that?
I mean that I, we believe before that we are always looking to have things permanently.
Hmm.
Okay, I need this to stay. I need this work. I need this. And none of that. And I think COVID has been a really good proof of it.
Hmm.
None of the things are permanent. And when I say as uncertainty is certain, is because COVID happened, for example, it touched everyone, so it's the most obvious example. But we don't know what will be coming tomorrow.
Right.
And it would be living in a fake world or dream world to believe nothing else will happen. Something else may happen. We don't know when. We don't want to overthink about it because we want to continue to live happily and free. But we need to be okay by navigating the change. We need to embrace that. We need to see that uh, we have the power to go through the uncertainty.
The
We need
uncertainty.
to, yeah, we need to have our toolbox. We need to understand how I am, what is important to me, what are my value. And another example is with the pandemic, I lost 90% of my revenue from my business.
Wow.
But not only that, I got stuck in Australia. I was living in Bali right before. I lost a home I just built, renovated. It was. I lost my lifestyle. Like living in Bali, you really have a nice lifestyle, probably like in Mexico, but like massage
Yeah.
and very cheap lifestyle and very luxurious. I lost my work permit for Bali, for Indonesia. I lost my freedom. So I lost it all in some ways during COVID, and I had to rebuild myself from the way that who I am right now. Who is Lucie? What is her value? What is Lucie doing here on Earth? And it's a part of me at the beginning, like wanted to, no, it's gonna be okay. COVID won't stay, won't last. And at one stage, I had to face the situation. COVID is still here, so I had the choice: either I avoid and I froze, or I start to embrace it.
Right.
And I started to embrace it, and my life started to change. I started to travel. I because we were able to travel in Western Australia during COVID at the beginning, so I bought a four-wheel drive and I went on a road trip by myself. It was so fun. And then after a few months, the reality was, okay, Lucy, maybe you need a new job. And someone called me for a job. I moved to Sydney for a job, all those things. But if I was refusing the uncertainty from day one, I would have waited maybe what 2 years and die and do
Right.
what?
It was
So
very
you,
difficult for single people,
yeah, and
because what do you do? I mean, yeah.
and for me it was like even extreme because I was in a foreign environment. I had no idea. It was winter. I was living in summer for 8 years before, or 5 years, or I don't remember how many. Winter was here, so it was cold, and I
Yeah.
was far away from the place I was living, but also from the people I knew, from friends. It was a lot of things, and so, but more we had the answers inside of us. And it's why what I do with my programs is stop looking outside.
Stop looking outside.
Stop, because the answer, it's not changing your work will solve the problem. It's not having a new promotion. It's not changing your boyfriend will solve the problem.
Hmm.
It's us. It's within us. It's going in. It's having allowing ourselves to pause. I call the brand pause to thrive, because it's really allowing us to pause, to have those moments of, okay, I shut down the brouhaha, the chaos around me, and I connect with myself, and I understand what's going on. But it's hard work, because um, you are going to unlock some trauma, you are going to unlock some unconscious thoughts, but
Right.
you have to be willing to go through that to go to the next level of your life. This is only how you can navigate the uncertainties, the change, but it's definitely worth it.
So COVID was a challenging situation for you, and that you faced, and so you actually telling us, showing us how you successfully kind of navigated through it. You didn't, you weren't about to get stuck, even though, since you were allowed to travel in Australia, you took advantage of that. That's what life's all about, is being open to the advantages, isn't it? The opportunities that come to you, and go for it. You could have decided to stay there and be stuck, and live in the uncertainty, but you know you didn't. And change, of course, is inevitable. I mean, there's always going to be change. So we always have to kind of figure out how we're going to, navigate, and how we're going to adapt. So, listen, I wanted to ask you now. Empowerment, it kind of is the key aspect of your mission, right? Could you kind of share with us an example of how you have empowered someone, maybe to clarify their vision and help them make decisions in their life? Can Can you give us an example of how you help someone with your
Yeah,
coach?
for sure. So one of my clients, she has because she still have a successful business, but she was at a stage of her life where she needed more time to preserve her health.
Mm-hmm.
So she needed to change the way she was operating as a business owner. And so we worked together to go through, okay, how I can have more time, how I can be more aligned with my value, with my work, and how I can build my team around to support me in the way I want to run my business today.
Right.
So really help her to go through those steps. And now she's a therapist, and she wants to do more coaching. So she's also slightly shifting her business now to do really something more powerful, but not powerful, but passionate she's about, and all of that. So it's really to take the time. So we look at finances, but not only. We look at her life, we look at her business, but also at what she wants for her lifestyle. So really, it's all this integration about how you cope with life and all what you want in life.
Right. So that's interesting. Denise Yonker says, "Thank you, Lucie." Well, you could be thanking me. You could be thanking Lucie Hautreux. I never know. And so she says, "Thank you. Look inside and trust ourselves for sure." You wear so many hats, Lucie. One of them is you're a financial consultant, I think, right? So I know that financial independence is a goal for many people, and they strive to get some financial independence. We all do. It's especially harder for women. We didn't grow up that way. We grew up more dependent on our partners taking care of us. At least my generation did. I'm a little older than you are. I don't know if that was true of your generation. So, how do you assist individuals in achieving financial independence as part of this transformation journey that you help them with?
So I will explain a bit more of my story. It will help to understand why my vision of finance is. When I grew up, money was always the problem. Like I from my understanding as a kid, my parents were fighting because we didn't have enough,
Hmm.
and it was the source of all our problems in the family and blah blah blah. So when I was an adult and I stepped into life, I told myself money will never be the reason why I'm not living my dream. Why? So I step in life with this belief and this conviction. And of course, when I study business, I took the finance and the cost controlling as a major. So I specialize to understand how businesses work with numbers. So I spent the first part of my life understanding numbers, how
Hmm.
to be able to run better business, and I apply it to my personal life as well. And
That's
what,
unusual for a woman.
yeah. But the thing is, I never had support from someone else. I never had a partner paying for me. I never had financial support from my family. And when you live abroad, you don't have any more financial support from your
Right.
government. So I had to be independent somehow. And I wanted to be independent because I didn't want money stopping me from, or obliging me to stay in a relationship who don't work.
Right.
So I learned how to date. I call it date my finances every month. And why do I do that? It's to just tell my brain that I'm okay. I am safe. It's my own way to not stop me from living my best life, from moving forward, from doing stuff I never done before, from it allow me this safe space. It's this kind of security SAS
Hmm.
to to go and live my life somehow. It's allow me this security, and it allow me to quiet my mind,
Right.
basically. So I really use numbers, and I simplify numbers, because even though if I really understand accounting, I hate accounting.
I don't know
I
how
do
you do
understand,
it. I don't know how you do
but
it.
I love numbers because they are fact. So they
Yeah,
help me
exactly.
to make decisions based on fact and not on emotions. And it's a really good tool as a woman, but
Mhm.
as anyone on earth to have, and also as a business owner. Because
Right,
when you have fact in front of you, you start to be conscious about what's going on. And it's a
right,
mistake of a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, is they don't want to look really at numbers,
right,
because then they are facts. And it's conflicting with their emotional side, willing to to push the business in this direction, but
right,
facts are the same to take a direction. But it saved me. It saved me in my business. It saved me in my life. And if I didn't have this financial management of my money, I would have not been able to invest in coaching during COVID, and would have not been able to leave my job where I burn out. I would have not been able to do a lot of things. So it's buying my freedom. It's buying my, yeah, buying my brain, basically.
yeah, but
The
you
part
became,
was like,
you became the creator of your destiny and not the master of your circumstances. As Tony says it so well. I wanted to ask. There is a question here that Okay, Damu, the charity says, I can feel that situation because it's not easy to break through because I see here the difficult situation, the orphans and vulnerable children in Damu Charity Foundation to pass through without no basic needs like other children, but your program make us to be strong every day, real. You make us believe in ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so happy that we can be of help that way. Flora, I don't know if you know Flora. I think you do from Maya's group. And the both Lucy's are an inspiration. Thank you, Flora. And there is a question for you, and the question is, I don't know who it is because Facebook user, if you click on StreamYard, it will allow them to use your name. But the question is, look inside yourself. We often say that. We say that all the time. Especially the coaches do look, and anybody who does any spiritual work, look inside yourself. Can you be more specific
yeah.
with what that means?
Yeah, so when I mean look inside yourself, well, first it's not that easy, so don't don't freak out if you're
So
like,
don't be, yeah, right.
it took me years before to not avoid a problem. So when I say looking inside, for me the tools to work is when I face a problem, when I start to see my emotional wanted to
Turmoil.
wanted to react. I have a I pause. I'm like, okay, I put myself in kind of a cave. Sometimes I even tell people, like, book a hotel and go away for a night, just to allow you the space to be by yourself. And one tool to help me a lot is I journal. So at the beginning, I didn't have a lot to write, but more you train yourself, you will write and write and write. And by writing, it allowed me to release and to start uh, to zoom out from this particular situation. And one thing will has helped me a lot as well is this particular situation is similar to something who happened before in the past,
Right.
maybe with different people, maybe in different frame and scene, but most of the time life is telling us the same situation until we solve it, until we get the lesson. So it's really important to zoom out, to have the space to be doing this introspection. It can be journaling, it can be understanding what is this situation telling me, what is this showing me? And it's hard because, you know, it's showing us sometimes stuff we don't want to see about
Right.
ourselves. I cried a lot the last 3 years. I, when you go through this process, it's gonna be messy. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yes.
ugly.
Yeah.
But I don't think none of us here today have never been through without, really all the state of healing and grieving and all those things. So going in is seeing why this situation is coming again in your life right now. And I'm seeing a lot with my relationship. I see the progress, and sometimes I'm like, why this is like that?
Right.
This is something I didn't look at. There is something I didn't understand yet. I need to go through that to understand what I need to get. So it's really to allow you the space to go through your emotional side. And if you live with people, allow yourself to go away for one day. It's what I call retreat yourself. It's what
Retreat.
I do when I do retreats. I offer this space for people to go and heal because it's so hard to do it when you have to cope with life. You
Right.
need this time to pause. So
So
I hope
yeah.
it makes sense.
So it does. It's really, as you're talking, I'm thinking, notice what you're noticing. You know, it's so important. Pause. You mentioned the word pause several times. We live in such a fast moving world that it's like time to get away from where you are, go outside, go to the beach, book a room, like you say, go to a hotel. That would cost money, but you know, pause and journaling helps a lot too, because the thoughts are going to be coming through. Just let them come through and write them on paper, and you will discover a lot about yourself doing something like that. That's
And
really. Go ahead.
yeah, so and if I can add something, uh ask the right people some help as well, because I don't know if someone has really managed to go through all of it by itself. I
Yes.
have different coaches, gurus, like shaman,
Right.
spiritual people as well. I did hypnosis. I did a different kind of things uh, because I needed some different things for different part of the
Right.
healing journey and stuff. So if you are listening and if you are going through something, reach out to know to where you could ask for help for this, because you are not the only one going through those kind of things. And as coaches as well, we have tools to guide you through the right direction. And if it's not with us, we have the right people to guide you to it. So don't hesitate to reach, because it's hard. I saw some people trying to do this by themselves, and
Yeah.
I'm guilty too. At the beginning, I tried to do it
Right.
by
Yeah.
myself like 8 years ago, because at the time it was different. It was not that common, and I was not known as before, as today, about mental health and all those things. But you are not sick. You just need to heal something to move forward in your life. So be okay of not being well right now, going through something, because there is a tomorrow where it's brighter. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So it's really important to
Absolutely.
remember that.
Absolutely. And have the faith in the process, have the faith that the universe is there to help you, and seek help from others. Do not be afraid to ask for help, because, of course, surround yourself with people who will support you, you know. Those who don't, then you need to get away from them for sure. So that's thank you for that. You talk about resilience before. Now, resilience and kind of purpose are essential for navigating challenges. That's for sure, right? So, do you have any practical strategies or I don't know, a tool or something to help individuals to help them cultivate resilience? I know that traveling the way you did, certainly helped you with building up the resilience. But do you have any practical strategies or tools maybe to help
Yeah, for me in life, you need to know what do you want.
stay focus on your
You
purpose, right? Hmm.
Yeah, it's not that easy. It depends where you are, which stage, and all of this. But this vision of your future, you need to get it. If you don't have the vision of your future, you will navigate life without knowing where you are heading.
Yeah,
And I never really had a full, clear picture of my future. But there are some stuff I knew I wanted right now. For example, after at the beginning of my when I was living in Bali, I had a job, and 6 months later, it didn't work out. So I stayed in Bali, and I was like, oh, what do I do? I don't really want to go back to France. I would like to stay here. And I kind of cultivate this thought of I want to stay living in Bali. And
hmm,
then one day, I met this entrepreneur. He has trouble with his finances, and I started to help him. So this was aligned with what I wanted. I wanted to stay in Bali. I didn't want to open a business. I had no idea about opening a
right,
business, not even a business idea at the time, nothing. I wanted to stay in Bali. This is why my target. So you don't need as well 10 years plan. You just need what do you want right now? What do you want by December this year? What do you want to achieve right now? One thing. One thing. And then every day you wake up, you are working towards this one thing. Because
right.
when you start to have too many things, it just doesn't work. So for me, is I'm currently, as I mentioned before, traveling, but I have a purpose. I have an intention on the back of it. I'm just not traveling to travel. It may seem like this from outside, but there is the places I've been, the why I've done that like this, and has been a purpose, has been a healing. Some places I went back to Bali 2 months ago to heal. I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bali is a place where I heal. So I went back there. I went through the whole mountain, Russian mountain I was living, and I went to heal there. And then I went back here where I could continue the journey.
Hmm.
So there is a purpose and a reaction, kind of. I would say I do the intention. It's all linked with the life I want to build. And this year, I'm building my personal life and my business in the same time. So I'm very intentional to to put the stone to build that. So I know it's not the year which taking off like this. It's the year where I put the foundation. So you need to know for resilience, because I could have stopped 100 times already.
Right. So know what you want.
you
Know what
you
you want.
need to know what you want, and it's okay if right now today you don't know, because you are living in a situation who is not okay. You are in a toxic
Right.
workplace. You are in a toxic relationship or whatever. I have been there. I didn't have clear view of what I wanted. It's also why we are doing the quest immersion in Bali in October, is to really help people to find this vision, to have a clear view and how they can implement that while taking care of themselves, their health, and the rest of their life.
So that's wonderful. I have a mentor who I think is brilliant. One of the most important questions to ever ask yourself, and this is in line with what you're saying, is ask yourself the question on a daily basis: what would I love? you know Take out a piece of paper. If you're a young girl and not knowing what your future is, what would I love, and write down what you would love without thinking about don't judge it, just write it out. and just keep asking yourself, who would I love to be? What would I love to do? Those are important questions to ask, you know, to so that you can, and then go back to your list and circle the ones that make you feel, smile. Oh yeah, I'd love to do that, and do away with the others. It's a start. But I think it's a great start. So,
Yeah.
Lucy, I want to ask, because you already talked about your next frontier, as I call it. What you're going to do is have a retreat in October, I hear, and it's going to be in Bali. So, um, for anybody who, first of all, before I go on there, I just want to know, I just want to say, Rosie, thank you for being here with us. Oh, two of my favorite Lucies and Lucie Rosa-Stagi and Lucie Hautreux. I adore you both. Thank you. We adore you, Rosie. Thank you very much. And but I do want to show people that how they can. Let's see if I can get this right. How they can reach you. I'll get it right. Yes. Hi, new show. Okay. So let me get rid of this here, the banner. These banners are sometimes too much here.
You are doing amazing. I don't know how to do that.
I'm gonna. Okay, I got rid of that banner. But the banner I wanted was the tickler. So to learn more about Lucy's journey, you can go to her Facebook. All right, facebook.com/Lucie LUCIE.HUX, or connect with her on Instagram. And that would be instagram.com/forward Lucy Life Experiences. And so those are two ways that you can contact her. So, is there anything, I'd like for you, I mean, you've done so much. I admire you so much. I admire your nomadic life. I thought I had one, but yours is and you're going to all the places that I want to go. Fortunately for me, I'm going to Bali in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. So I'll be thinking of you while I'm in Bali, and it's a healing place from what I understand, and I'll remember
Yeah.
that for sure. Tell me, what good advice would you have for women, especially women, who know that they're meant for more? And they've been through programs like KBB, Project Next, but they get stuck. You know, do you have any advice for maybe these women that know they're meant for more, and how they can possibly get unstuck?
Yeah, so it's exactly the program we have done with the retreat. It's a 4 month journey, and it's really to be alive inside and to translate this into the material world and your business. So it's really to dig into who you are, your value, and then to embrace and empower yourself, and to look at what is blocking you, the root cause of why it's not working. It's why I bring people to Bali for a week. It's because we are going to dig into the root cause of the problem, why you are not expanding and really like living it right now, and then allow you to expand, really come back home with the plan, with the clarity to make it happen. And if you are not able to join us, it's not a problem. But um, what is important is to take this pause, to pause, to shut down the noise, shut down everything,
Hmm.
put yourself in an environment where you can at least 2 or 3 days go in. And it's go in. What would you love? What is your vision? And after, you need the translation of this vision into, okay, how I materialize this in my life. And what has been, why we are offering really this program to people is because we know that in myself, in the past, I've done the mistake of dealing with that by myself, and what has been the consequences is losing a relationship, or maybe losing contact with my family. So it's why we are super mindful right now to help people to integrate their family, their relationship, their health into their business development, because we do believe that we don't just want to be successful in business. We want the business, but we want also the life, the joy, the the liveness from inside. And you won't be able to really feel alive inside if you just have your business working. If the rest is falling apart, you will be not working. So for all those stuck, there are possibilities, and it's again to reconnect with your inner self. And if you need help, just reach out. I'm happy just to offer also a free call to your audience. And yeah, because and I actually being unstuck, I have a 10 question
Perfect.
yeah, 10 question to unstuck yourself, so you can start journaling and helping yourself to move forward.
Okay, so below, after the video, in the comments below, I'll put the
Yes.
information how to contact Lucie. And if you want uh, that wonderful gift that she says that she has about being unstuck, then you can just say, please send me the unstuck gift, the unstuck gift. So, Lucy, I just want to thank you so very much for your time. I know how busy you are. You're moving from here and there, and taking care of business, taking care of family, taking care of yourself, taking care of us. So thank you for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. I also want to appreciate and thank Magda for being with us, the Damu Charity Foundation. Thank you for your support always. Thank you to Denise for being here with us, Rosie Batista, for sure. Facebook user, we never knew who you were, but Floor, thank you for being here with us also. And Denise has a last minute message here. You are truly an inspiration to many. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement. Keep the good vibes going. We can do all things, sending love, light, and victory your way. Thank you, Denise. And we return it to you in turn. So, folks, I know, thank you. And we went a little longer this day, but Lucy's an unusual guest, and there aren't too many people who live this nomadic life, and so I did want to thank her. And if you want to know any more about our program, you know where to reach me, and I'd be happy to tell you about our Launch Lab program. Thank you again, and see you next week. Bye for now.